too much of your time, but I want to say a couple of things. One thing, first of all, born and raised in Fresno, grew up in the Westgate Apartments. My parents were married at Pearly Grove Baptist Church. I went to Irwin Junior High School, Fresno, born and bred. I was away for about 20 years married, came back following a divorce, thought my life was over. Hadn't been to school in 20 years. The very first classroom that I walked into, the very first class, was Dr. Kahinde's class. And it changed my entire trajectory of my life. Thank you, Dr. Kahinde, and he is still here running strong. The community is strong. So I just want to quickly introduce this next person. We, at the Housing Authority, we had a change in leadership last year, and so we have brought someone in that we feel will change the trajectory of a lot of our families here. Mr. Tyrone Roderick Williams, he was appointed as the CEO of Fresno Housing Authority in November of 2021. He is a catalyst for positive change and intervention, as well as an industry leader in organizational management, financing, project implementation, having spent his last 25 years successfully leading multi-million-dollar large-scale revitalization initiatives, totaling $1.7 billion with a B dollars. Okay? Williams, and I call him TRW, he brings extensive experience in affordable housing, holistic and comprehensive urban revitalization efforts, and community development, and much, much more. He has worked with for-profits, non-profits, philanthropic, government sectors, developed activities. He has been the forefront of neighborhood transformations in Boston, Houston, Atlanta, and Sacramento. We have brought in here a leader to help us with some of our homeless populations, some of our hardest to house populations, and we have every confidence that Mr. Williams will help us do that. So without any further ado, I introduce to you and to Fresno, and his beautiful wife Shanta is over there, Mr. Tyrone Roderick Williams.
Hello, everybody in the house. From the front to the back, if you are eating food, you can eat and listen. I want to say hello, Fresno. It is good for me to be here. And I am excited about being a part of this historic celebration in the community. I'm Tyrone Roderick Williams, your new CEO of the Fresno Housing Authority. And it is my honor to be here this evening. So what I've been asked to do is just to tell a little bit about who I am and what I'm about. And so I'm going to do that, just tell a little bit about who I am and what I'm about. I'm originally from outside a small town in Houston, Texas called Crosby. And I've been a lot of places that I won't go into detail, but just know one of the things I'm most proud about is I am a proud graduate of Prairie View A&M University. And so for all of you HBCU grads and all of those who have an expectation and an aspiration to join our unique group, I encourage you, wherever you can go to an HBCU, make every effort you can to go. And if you can support a student who's going to an HBCU, I encourage that as well. But I graduated from Prairie View and decided I wanted to go into architecture, but not only into architecture, but real estate development and community development. And my instructor said that's what you're serious about. There's one place in the country where you can go and learn architecture and planning and real estate development, and that's the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, better known as MIT. So I received a full scholarship, and that's where my pathway and career has taken me. So I've worked in Boston, in Houston, in Atlanta, For the last 7.5 years, I was in Sacramento, and now I'm really glad to be here. And so my goal is to really be a part of the community, to get to know you, to get to understand the issues and concerns, and to be a part of the solution. We know there are many problems, but my goal is to be a part of the solution. And we have an incredible staff, and we're happy to do everything we can to provide quality, affordable housing options. The other question is, what does Juneteenth really mean as far as the past, but even more important, the present? So for me, Juneteenth is a recognition that it was one step in the long road to America being a place where liberty and justice for all is a reality for all. But it also gives us an opportunity to come together and talk about moving forward with a collective agenda, moving forward with a collective voice, moving forward with a collective goals and objectives. And that's what this is all about. So for all of you in the house, you are a part of our ancestors' dream to be able to come together where there are no chains, where we can be free to think our own thoughts, where we can be free to have our own economic, social ventures, where we can be free to enjoy each other's presence and each other's greatness and each other's splendor and each other's passion. That's what Juneteenth is all about for me. And then the question was, what does it mean to be a black CEO during these times? It means several things to me. I feel the weight and the responsibility of all of those who have come before me wishing for an opportunity to stand where I stand. And so what it also means to me is to not forget my past, because I am from Texas, and it was on Juneteenth that my great-great-grandfather Perry Williams found his freedom. So Juneteenth is more than just a holiday. For me, it's a part of my family experience in America. So I appreciate the opportunity to lead. I appreciate the opportunity to stand and to boldly represent all that we are and all that we can be. I've got a phenomenal team at Fresno Housing, and we are committed. So it's a great honor and a joy and a pleasure. That's it for me. I said I'm going to tell you a little bit about who I am, a little bit about how I got to where I got to, and that's it. So I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you all.